Good day, everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to create forms, queries, and reports in an Access document. The first step, of course, is to open an Access document. So I'm going to go to my Start button, come up to Access, and I'm going to click on Open. And I'm going to navigate to where I have it stored. Mine is stored in the Access Unit Assignment file folder that I have on the desktop. So, but you'll go to wherever the one it is that you want. And so I'm going to open that up. Okay, this will come up in a second. Okay, here is my database. Now, a couple of things I want to explain before we go any further. Let's open the database itself, open the table. I'm going to double click on that and open the table. Now, the first thing you notice is some of the columns are a little cut off. Like this should say lot number in column 1, but it's cut off. So I'm going to make sure I widen it. On all your work you do for me, I have to be able to read the full column name. Now these are okay, these are okay. I guess probably the rest are pretty much, no, upholstery is short. So I'm going to come over here and click on that and click on the dividing line and drag a little wider, and there we go. So all of the column names are required to be readable, not cut off. So just widen them as necessary. Okay, the next thing I want you to make sure of on your database is that this button here, it should say all access objects are shown. I'm going to click on the down arrow. You should have checked off the object type, and you should have checked off all access objects. It's important to have that, otherwise you might do tables or queries and they seem to disappear. That's because you're not showing them, and this button allows you to show all the access objects. Alright, now at this point, right now I want to explain that this table shows all of the cars that I have on my used car lot. All of them. There's a lot of information there. Now, this is all of the information about all of the cars on the lot. Now, it would be helpful if I had a form to use. So what I'm going to do is go to the Create button, and I'm going to click on the Form button, and this will create an automatic form. So I'm just going to click Form, and there it is. It's all created. Now, when I buy more cars, instead of entering the information on that long, wide spreadsheet, all I have to do is go to the Form button, and I can add whatever new car I'm adding to the lot. So this is all done. All I have to do is click the Close button. And do you want to save changes? I'll click yes. And I want to name this. I'm going to call this the individual car information form. Make sure you label it. Individual car information form. So I'll have one card form for every single car in the lot. There we go. And it now appears over here on the left. So now, what happens is, the table shows all of the information about all of the vehicles. The form shows all of the information about one car at a time. And down the bottom here, I see I have 18 records. I can go, this is the first record, second, this is a Chevy, and then a Toyota, and then a Mercury, and so forth. All right, now if I want to add a new car, all I have to do is click on New Form, and I would be able to add a new form here. Okay, so there we go. Now let's do something with this data. Now, first of all, a database serves no purpose if you don't do anything with it. We've got all this information, but what are we going to do with it? Well, the first thing we want to do is to create a report. Now, we want to be able to print this out so we can see all of the information about all of the cars. So we're going to create a report. So you click on the Create tab. If it isn't highlighted already, click on the Create tab, and then come over to Report. You could just click on Report and it would do it automatically, but I like to use the Report Wizard. Let's just use Report Wizard. It's a lot easier way to do it. So we just click on Report Wizard, and it takes you through the steps one at a time. Okay, now, it's telling me this. What table do you want to use? Well, I only have one table in this particular example. I only have one car lot location. So I'm going to use this table called Used Car Lot inventory. Now, the information I want is all of the information. So I could just click this right arrow here and add them one at a time. Click, 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 click. Or I can simply click, since I want all of the information, I can click the double arrow and click and add them all at once. So there you go. Everything in the database is going to be in this report. And all I have to do is click the next button. And now it says here, do you want any groupings? No, we don't. So just ignore that. Click next. Now it says, do you want to put them in any kind of order? And the answer is yes. I'm going to click on the down arrow, and I want to put them in order by year of the vehicle, just to keep an easy way to keep them in order, year of the vehicle. And then I'll click the button that says next. And it says, do you want a tabular form like this yellow sample? Yep, that's fine. Do you want a portrait or landscape? Well, I'm going to leave it in portrait mode. Landscape simply prints it sideways. And I'm going to click finish. And there's my report. But something you need to notice is that this does not show the whole report because it is wider than one page. So when you print it, it will actually print both pages. But when we go in this view, we can see. In fact, let me do this. I want to go to the layout view. I'm going to click layout view. Okay. And I'll click that to close that. Okay, now in layout view, you can clearly see that there's a divider line showing that everything to the left is page 1, everything to the right is page 2, and you can see it's a really wide document. So it's okay. It will print it out, the full database, but it will do it on 2 pages wide. Now, every time you do a report, I need you to make it look nice. Now, I can see here the year and the lot number are too close together, so I need to move those over. So I'm going to click on the lot number. And when my mouse is a 4-way arrow, I'm going to click and drag that over to the right a bit. Whoop, it's too far here. Let me drag it back a little bit more to the left. Whoops, and I got to push it up higher a little bit where it belongs. Okay, and I'm going to click on the right-hand edge of it and just drag it back over where it belongs. Okay, now I'll click on the data itself, and I'm going to then move my cursor till it becomes a 2-way left and right arrow. 2-way left and right, click and drag that over, and then come over here and drag this over. There we go. So now that looks better. The columns, I'll do a little bit more on that later. Okay, let's see. So I got make, model. I think I'm going to move the model over a little bit. And I think I'm going to highlight all the data here and drag that over a little bit just to make it a better looking form. And then I'll shrink up the right-hand side so it fits in nice and so forth. And you can do that as you move across. Now, lot number, I'm going to click on that. I'm not satisfied with that. I'm going to click on that and move it over here to the left a little bit more so it looks a bit more centered. There we go. Some things you might do is, for example, the engine. Let's click on the engine column. First of all, the engine column isn't wide enough. It's not displaying the whole name. So I'm going to click and drag that a little bit wider. There it is. And so now that fits in there. But what I want to do is I want to center that name. So I'll just go to the Home button and click on the Center tab over here and click Center, and it centers it. Now, the data doesn't look right because it's way over to the right-hand side. So I'm going to highlight that whole row of stuff, and I'm going to, again, click on the Center button up above, and now it's a little bit better. Well, I think I'll move it over a little bit more so it's more under there, a little bit more. Okay, so there you go. Now, listen, it's important when you do the reports that they look nice, that the column names are wide enough. For example, again, mileage and condition, mileage is cut off. So I'm going to have to widen the mileage name. I'm going to click on here and the mileage, and I'm going to move those all. Whoops, I got to do a little bit right. Wait, click and get that double arrow. There we go. I'm going to move that over here. And then move this over here. And mileage, again, I'm going to have to, well, I think if I center that, it might be okay. Click Center. And So you'll see this is the way you'll go through it very carefully, making your report look nice with nothing cut off. All right, so we're done with this report. So let's now click the close button. And do we want to save it? Yes. So make yours look nice. Now the next thing we want to do is this. Again, a database is not very useful unless you use it for something. Now imagine we have hundreds of cars rather than just 20 here. If you have hundreds of cars, and we just got a call from a customer who's looking for a particular car, and the customer's on the phone, Mr. Smith. He says, hey, look, I'm looking for a car. It's got to be 2005 or newer, at least 2005 or newer, and he doesn't care particularly what kind of car it is, but it does have to have less than 45,000 miles on it, and it's got to be a two-door. Okay, so with those parameters, let's see if we can search the database automatically to find what Mr. Smith is looking for. To do that, we're going to create a query. So we go up to the tab that says Create, up the top left-hand corner, and click on, I'm going to do it in Design View, Query Design View. Click on that. Now, the first thing comes up, it says, what table do you want to show? Use car lot inventory? Yes, that's the only one. That's the only table I have, and it's the only one I want to show. So I come down to the bottom of the dialog box and click Add. There it is. Now that the table appears there, I can click the close box on this one. And it doesn't show all of the names of the items in the database, so I'm going to put my cursor at the bottom, click and drag it down. Now I can see them all. Now, the customer is interested in the year of the car. We want to be able to tell them the make of the year. To make the year show up down the bottom, you just double click on it, as I did, and the year showed up down here. Now, we want to know what make the car is, so I'm going to double click, 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 and we want to know what model. I'll click, 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 and I want to know the style. Click, click, and I want to know the mileage. Click, click. Whoop, I guess, let's see, I guess it didn't show. I got the year, make. For some reason, I didn't click the model twice, I guess. Okay, I've got the year, I've got the make, double click, model, click, click. Oh, there it appears now. And then I wanted the style, so I go click, click, and I want the mileage, click, click. Nope, it didn't appear. I've got to click, click again. There we go. Now, so these are the 5 things that I'm looking for on the car. Now, as far as the year goes, where it says criteria, I'm going to click on the line where it says criteria. Now, he wants a car that is 2005 or newer. So we have to enter the search parameters, and that's a mathematical thing. So we press the equal sign. The year has to equal or be greater than, so I go down and go to shift right arrow. The year has to be equal to or greater than 2005. All right, now I go to the next box over, the make, and I got an error. Now this is actually a simple error. It says the expression isn't done right in proper syntax. I have equal or greater than. Now it won't work unless you do it in the right order. So I'm going to click OK on that. Now what it is, I got to back up, and it should have been greater than or equal to. Now I showed you that on purpose, just so you understand. You may think you know what you're doing, but you've got to be careful. If it says there's a syntax error, it means you've got something mixed up. Okay, so in this case, it should have been greater than or equal to, and then 2005. Now the make, I don't have any search parameters because he didn't care about what make it was. As far as model, he didn't care. But as far as style, he said that it has to be a 2-door car. So if I have any 2 doors in the database, they are listed as 2-door. Now, I want to stress this. In the database, 2-door cars are listed as 2-door. If you try to search and you type 2-door, it will not locate any 2-door cars because the parameters in the database state a 2-door car as 2-door. So you got to be careful for what you're searching for. Now let's click in the mileage. And he says he won't take anything that has more than 45,000. So in this case, he just gets, if it's more than 45, he wants it. So, I'm sorry, he wants less than 45,000. I'm sorry, he wants less than 45,000. So we're going to click on the criteria box for mileage and put the less than symbol, less than 45,000 miles. And we're all set to run the query. To run the query, you put your cursor on the Run button in the upper left-hand corner and click Run the Query. Okay, now this is great. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles that meet his criteria. Now, if he's still on the phone, we can say, hey, yeah, well, we got 5 cars that meet your criteria. Which one are you most interested in? And we can handle it that way. So this is a nice way of processing the data that's in the database. All right, now what we're going to do now is to close this. And when we do it, it says, do you want to save the changes? I'll click yes. And we have to give this a name. Well, it was Mr. Smith who had this question. So we're going to name this as Mr. Smith's request. So if he calls back later, we can call up his query. And we'll click OK. And OK, so click OK. And now notice his query appears over here. But you know what? I want to keep a report of this handy. So I'm going to open up his query. And with it open, I'm going to create a report. So I'm going to click on the Create button, and I'm going to come over to Report. Now, for me, I want all the information that's shown there. So instead of the Report Wizard, I can just go right to Report and go click. And there's the completed report. Notice, however, though it appears as a 2-page report, we can easily make this a 1-page report. And let's do this. All we do is come down to the lower right-hand corner, Layout View button, Layout, click on Layout View. And that's this one here, actually. And we can, let's move over click the Chevrolet here, and let's drag this and make it a little bit less wide, okay, and click on the right hand, make sure you get this one here, for model, make that less wide, and style, again, click on we got to highlight them all, okay, and make it less wide, and there you go. That report is now done. The only thing you might like to do is to click on the year and go to Home and go Center, Make, Center, Model, Center, Style, Center, and Mileage Center, and just to make them adjust so they look nice. Because when I grade your database work, I'm going to look to see that the reports are that they look nice, that they're not spread out when they don't need to be, and things like that. Okay, so that's it. So good luck. If you need any help, give me a call, send me an email, and we'll get you going. Okay, thank you all very much. And I'm going to close out. By the way, you can't close out of this. If I click the close button, it won't close. It says you have to close out everything first. So I'll click yes, I want to save that. And click OK on that. And there we go. Now it's closed out. Okay, good luck. Thank you. Bye.